Liverpool is in chaos. Jamie Carragher has unleashed his most brutal rant yet. Mo Salah has dropped a bombshell, and Arne is forced to respond. Today, we break down the truth, the tension, and the drama shaking Anfield. Let's get into it. Jamie Carragher's 8-minute rant in full as Liverpool legend eviscerates Mohamed Salah. Jamie Carragher has responded to comments made by Liverpool star Mohamed Salah in an interview which has generated plenty of headlines. Jamie Carragher spent more than 8 minutes responding to Mohamed Salah's recent interview after Liverpool's draw with Leeds United. The Egyptian star spoke to the media in the mixed zone, where he was unhappy at being named on the bench for a third successive match. Salah claimed that he no longer has a relationship with Liverpool head coach Arne, while also claiming that the Reds had thrown him under the bus. The result has seen Salah excluded from Liverpool's squad for the Champions League clash against Inter Milan on Tuesday night. Salah also hinted that the Reds' clash against Brighton at the weekend could be his last for the club. Jamie Carragher made his regular appearance on Sky Sports Monday Night Football, where he gave a lengthy response to Salah's recent remarks. Below is the full transcript of what Jamie Carragher said in response to Salah's comments after Liverpool's draw with Leeds United. "I thought it was a disgrace what he did after the game. Some people have painted it as an emotional outburst. I don't think it was. I think whenever Mo Salah stops in a mixed zone, which he's done 4 times in 8 years at Liverpool, it's choreographed, with him and his agent to cause maximum damage and strengthen his own position. He did that 12 months ago, and I called him out about it, and he played on the heartstrings of Liverpool supporters. Liverpool were on top of the league. He'd scored the winning goal at Southampton. That was the time to come out and put pressure on the Liverpool ownership. So for the rest of the season, you have banners in the crowd. Give Mo his dough. He's chose this weekend to do this now, and he's waited, I think, for a bad result with Liverpool. Can see the last-minute goal. Everyone involved with the club feels like they're in the gutter at the moment, and he's chose that time to go for the manager and maybe try and get him sacked. That's the way I felt about it. The one line that stands out for me is thrown under the bus. He's tried to throw the club under the bus twice in the last 12 months with the situations that I've just mentioned. With the manager right now, he should be doing as much as he can to help the club get out of the worst run they've had since the 1950s, and he hasn't done that. When I've thought about it over the weekend, and I've put myself in Salah's position or how I was as a player, I'm not Mo Salah. Mo Salah is a world-renowned player who is famous around the world, and should those players be treated differently? I think they should. When you think of players in that bracket over the last 8 years, I would say Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Mbappe. I wouldn't put Salah alongside them, but he's very close for what he's done for Liverpool, so a legendary figure. All of those players get privilege, exactly the same one Mo Salah gets at Liverpool. He doesn't have to defend, he doesn't have to chase back, so that's the privilege he has with Liverpool. When you talk about throwing people under the bus, he's thrown the Liverpool right back under the bus the last 8 years. Can you imagine playing behind him for 8 years? But we accept it because he's a superstar. He scored 250 goals, and he's given me, a Liverpool supporter, some of the greatest nights of my life watching him and what he's done. When you think of the ego of these types of players, Ronaldo, Messi, Mbappe, Salah, I think they have a feeling that the success of a football club is down to them. I have no problem with that because I think that drives them on to get more goals and get more success, and it benefits Liverpool. It then becomes a problem when you're in a situation like this, when Mo Salah is talking about how many goals he scored. I've got more than anyone else in the Premier League. He's always talking about himself. I'd remind Salah and his agent that before he came to Liverpool, he was known as the man who failed at Chelsea. That's just a fact. He'd never won a major trophy before he came to Liverpool. He's also the greatest player his country have ever had in Egypt. Egypt are the most successful country in the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. And he's going there in a couple of weeks. Salah has never won the AFCON. That's not me trying to put Mo Salah down as a player. I've just said he's one of the best players in the world over the last 8 years. Very few better. But what it tells Salah and his agent is that it's not about an individual. You weren't a big star before you came to Liverpool. You haven't won anything with Egypt. All that tells you is that no matter how good a player you are, you need help from your teammates, your manager, and fans. I think it's really important that he remembers that. When he's talking after the game, all it's about is me, me, me. Have I ever criticized Mo Salah on the pitch? I don't class that legs gone comment as criticism. That's something that happens for every player. I've never criticized him for not working back. I've never criticized him when he's gone for games without scoring. I've never criticized him when he hasn't passed to someone he should. He's an absolute legend because what you get from him, you have to put up with certain things. Some of the criticism has been excessive. I've said that publicly. But I will go after Salah when he tries to throw my club under the bus off the pitch and just think about himself. Let's understand Arne Slot. He's conceded 10 goals in 3 games, one of them against PSV. Salah was embarrassing in terms of the challenge that he puts in. He then goes to West Ham away. Nuno Espirito Santo team, big on set pieces. We need to keep a clean sheet. That's all he cares about. What's the one thing you're going to do as a manager? You take the one player out in your team you have allowed not to defend. You play Sunderland at home. I'd have played him, but it's understandable that he keeps the same team. He brings him on at halftime. West Ham away and Leeds away, why would you bring him on when you're winning those games? You don't need a goal. You need not to concede. So if you're bringing on Salah, you're bringing on a guy who can't defend set pieces and doesn't run back. The one time I wanted to be really critical, and I held back, this season about Salah on the pitch. As I've said before, I've never been critical of him on the pitch. He's a legend of the club. His legacy is there. If he doesn't score another goal or make another assist for this club, I don't care. He's been amazing. Where he really let himself down, in my eyes, was this season in Frankfurt and in another game, where there's a guy who signed for Liverpool who needs a goal more than anyone, Florian Wirtz. Instead of being a great player for the club, be a great ambassador for the club and roll that ball to him for an easy tap-in and go over and give him a hug and say, "You're the guy that's going to take this Liverpool team forward. I don't need any more goals." I've seen Barnes at the end, I Am Rush, Steven Gerrard. Do you think they're the same players as they were in their pomp? Of course they weren't. Do supporters think anything differently of them now when they see them? They say, no, you're in the top 5 or 6 players to ever play for Liverpool, and the same will be said of Salah. So in terms of on the pitch, the one criticism I've got, help the other players, help Florian Wirtz, help Alexander Isak. Don't be obsessed with your own numbers. I think the club have made the right decision in terms of him not going abroad. Whether he'll play for Liverpool again, I don't know. I hope he does because he's one of the greatest players we've ever had. But if you continue like that and statements like that, if he doesn't play, who knows? Key points from Arne Slot's Liverpool press conference as he addresses Mo Salah bombshell. Mohamed Salah's Liverpool bombshell has caused quite the stir ahead of Arne Slot's press conference before the Champions League clash with Inter Milan. Everything you need to know from Arne Slot's Liverpool press conference as the Reds boss speaks to reporters for the first time since Mohamed Salah's bombshell claims. Arne Slot expressed surprise and confirmed Mohamed Salah's exclusion from the traveling squad to face Inter Milan in the Champions League. The manager stated this decision was made in full consultation with the club as a direct reaction to Salah's recent explosive outburst in a post-match interview. The manager admitted uncertainty regarding Mohamed Salah's long-term future, stating he has no clue if the winger will play for Liverpool again. Despite the public drama, Slot firmly denied that Salah's claims about their broken relationship had undermined his managerial authority. Slot made it clear that the club must react when a player creates unrest through public comments, which is the main reason for Salah's immediate exclusion. He believes the player is aware that his actions have consequences and expects to reassess the situation after the upcoming Champions League fixture. Goalkeeper Alisson Becker commented on the situation, admitting the entire squad was a little bit caught by surprise by Salah's interview. He emphasized that the team hopes for a win-win resolution for both Salah and the club, prioritizing the club's best interest in the end. Alisson publicly threw his support behind manager Arne Slot, expressing confidence in his leadership despite the team's current poor form. The player asserted that the players trust in Slot's knowledge and style of play to help turn the team's results around. Alisson defended Salah's right to freedom of speech, noting the player is entitled to talk about how he feels about his own situation. However, he stressed that Salah must also deal with the consequences of his comments,
clarifying that the team's necessary reaction is to stay together and work hard. Slot provided key injury updates, confirming that forward Cody Gakpo will be sidelined for a few weeks after picking up an injury against Leeds. Additionally, Federico Chiesa was ruled out of the Inter Milan fixture due to illness, compounding the selection issues for the squad. The manager insisted on immediately refocusing the conversation away from the Salah controversy and onto the importance of the upcoming Champions League fixture. Slot acknowledged that Inter Milan is a strong, disciplined, and experienced team, demanding a proper reaction from Liverpool to earn a victory.
Liverpool must come clear about Mo Salah's truth. Liverpool have to get one thing right about Mo Salah. It was an astonishing moment in the club's history when the Egyptian emerged in the mix zone at Ellen Road. Salah came out looking calm, with a smile on his face, but inside, there must have been a raging fire. And he was right to have that fire within him. Despite being Liverpool's most important player during the club's Premier League triumph, he has been benched for 3 games in a row. Why? It remains a mystery. If you ask Liverpool officials or Arne Slot, he will say that it is because of Salah's lack of form, that Salah is simply not helping the team. But this is an absolute farce. Salah's numbers may be down this season, but it's not because of a drop in form. It's because the system and the structure Slot has built does not exist. There is no system, there is no structure, which ultimately results in every player struggling, including Salah himself. Let's have a look at the actual truth of the matter. Has Salah actually been rubbish, as people have claimed? Well, he has created the most chances, 28. The second most big chances, 5, while making the most passes into the penalty area, 40, and taking the most touches in the penalty area, 105, for Liverpool this season. He's second for most successful take-ons, 19, and second for most goals scored, 5, in this Liverpool squad. Only Hugo Ekitike has scored more goals than him. And he's probably the only one who deserves to be picked ahead of Salah in the forward line right now. Anyone else being picked ahead of him is not deserving of that role. The fact that Salah has not even featured in 2 of Liverpool's last 3 games is a joke. You may counter that, well, it's because he doesn't press or he doesn't defend enough. That would also be a lie. Salah has the same number of recoveries, 43, as Cody Gakpo this season. And if you look at the Times reporter Hamza Khalik Lunat's analysis on X, you will see that Salah is not bad at pressing at all. He's pressing more often than Gakpo this season, who continues to be picked over him. So the truth is that Salah is not the issue. He is absolutely right about being thrown under the bus. That's exactly what is happening here. Liverpool have to come clear and accept the truth about the situation. Salah being dropped is only an attempt to mask the real issue at the club. And that is the fact that Slot is simply incompetent at his job right now.
State of Liverpool locker room after Mohamed Salah attack on club. The Liverpool dressing room will have to regain morale following Mohamed Salah's blunt attack on coach Arne Slot, as some, like Alisson Becker, may rush to pick sides. Longtime Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson reassured fans that the Reds are as good as can be in his Monday press conference following the public war of words between coach Arne Slot and star Mohamed Salah. Salah felt like he was being thrown under the bus after being left on the bench by Slot for 3 straight Premier League contests, the latter 2 being disappointing draws to newly promoted sides. Slot understood that the player was frustrated, but expressed disappointment that those comments had become public. Alisson, teammates with Salah since 2017 when they were both at Roma, played public moderator. The Salah comments can have an impact. It's not something small. He's Mo Salah, he said. What's happening here now tells you about the situation. We are grown-up men. We understand this is a personal situation for Mo. I don't believe his goal is to disrespect anyone. He has the freedom to speak about how he feels and his own situation. Alisson expressed that the dressing room will try to come together. As a team, it's not important how we feel. It's important how we react now. The reaction is staying together, working hard, and overcoming a bad situation. It is not just about Mo, it is about what is best for the team and the club.
The dressing room is as good as we can be, Allison added. All the players will have different thoughts about the situation, and that's okay. We know the challenges we are facing at the moment, not performing well. Salah led the Premier League in both goals and assists last season, as Liverpool won the title in the club's first year under Slot. This year, the Reds are already 10 points behind Arsenal in first. Speaking on the Monday Night Club, former Liverpool player and current Wrexham defender Conor Coady expressed concern for the impact Salah's comments may have on the dressing room. Of course, he'll have friends within the dressing room who will be with them, listening to him, but I just think when you see something like that, especially when you're not playing well and results aren't going that way, you want anything to get you through it as a team, Coady said. The Reds are set to face Inter Milan in the Champions League on Tuesday, a fixture for which Salah didn't travel. Slot said the Egyptian status is uncertain for the weekend matchup against Brighton.
Liverpool created a hostile environment for Mo Salah's talents. Arne Slot has taken the decision to remove Mo Salah from Liverpool first-team duties. The Egyptian king has started each of the last 3 Premier League games from the bench amid a decline in his goal-scoring and playmaking output. In this context, the 33-year-old is being made to carry the can for a lot of Liverpool's ills. Salah is the one dropped, while others, such as Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak, and Cody Gakpo, continue to earn the benefit of the doubt in attack. There is clearly a malfunction in the way Liverpool go about creating and scoring chances. Rather than address this collectively, it appears the Reds head coach has singled Salah out. Predictably, this has generated a furious response from Salah. Salah's numbers are down. He is not happy with the situation and looks like he's burned his bridges with the manager and his paymasters. What happens next is anyone's guess. But the fact of the matter is that Liverpool hollowed out the team around Salah, which drove him to stratospheric levels last season. The game plan was optimized to get the best out of the right winger, and for large parts of the campaign, it worked. Sure, Salah, like the team as a whole, slowed down as the season drew to a close, but he worked hard to help the team achieve the title. He scored 29 goals and assisted 18 more. The first time ever a player has won the Premier League Top Goal Scorer Award, the Playmaker Award, and the Player of the Year Award all at once. But he didn't do it alone. Liverpool have sold Salah's supply. For most of the campaign, he had Trent Alexander-Arnold alongside him. Although they didn't combine directly for many goals last season, 2 away at Newcastle stand out. There is no dispute that Trent's long passing capabilities put Salah in the danger zone far more frequently than Connor Bradley or Jeremy Frimpong have been able to do. Then there's Luis Diaz. The duo enjoyed a very fruitful partnership last season. And it was the manner in which Diaz pressed high and took on his man one-on-one which really helped characterize Liverpool's Premier League title-winning season. Although he started infrequently, Darwin Núñez was also a big part of Salah's success. The Egyptian king is on the record as stating how much he loved working with the Uruguayan. Consider these losses in the context of Salah's tweet during the summer about asking for respect for the Premier League champions. It's clear Salah knew what the club were losing and tried his best to sound the alarm. Slot has so far failed to launch anything close to a new-look attack. Instead, he simply tried to put Dominic Szoboszlai wherever he'll fit and hope for the best. Others get to coast while Salah gets blamed, when in actual fact, the component parts are all failing. Critics would do well to remember this. Salah's numbers are down, granted, but there are many reasons for that, not least Hughes and Slot's failure to mitigate for the departures of Trent, Diaz, and Núñez.